How's it going, guys? We're back with another restoration video, and this time we're going to be restoring this Mercedes-Benz ambulance, which is another Matchbox car. This is in pretty poor shape. There's no back door. The windshield is cracked, as you can see there. Very dirty. Base is very dirty. Rusted axles, oxidized base. Been repainted. Probably twice, because it's red and pink. Well, pink and blue, I mean, and with the white paint under it. And we've got the original car here. This one's in much better shape than the top one. As you can see, the base, it's got the back door, which has a license plate and stuff on it, the Mercedes logo, and the light on the top is worn down on this one quite a bit. As for this one, it is still there and brand new. This one's also missing the Mercedes hood ornament, as you can see there. And the wheels are very dirty on this one, and it rides a little bit lower because the suspension is not as good. So we will be restoring this one. This one will be going back in the collection, and first thing we need to do is get the car apart. I got the pieces all taken apart, and I cleaned them also, so they are not extremely dirty as they had been. This one, the interiors always clean up really nice in these, because there's really nothing that can happen to them unless like the car explodes or something. But the only thing that really affects them is dirt, and they're really perfect interior. There's really nothing wrong with it at all, which is very nice. And that just clips back in if you ever need to wash it, and there is no way you can get any cleaning thing under there. You can just pull it up like that and clean it, and then just clips back, which is very nice. Then you've got your windshield. It's about how you would expect. There we go. I don't know how it's cracked. Somebody must have stepped on just the front windshield part, because I don't think it's this. It might be, because it's worn down quite a bit, and it's got blue paint on it, and it's scratched up. Needs a lot of work, that. Then you've got your base. We need to get the wheels off, but the axles are rusted. As you can see, well, you can't really see, but like there you can see. The axles are rusted, the wheels have paint on them, and not all the dirt came off the base. I was scrubbing at it for probably 5 minutes, and at least with a toothbrush. I probably should use one that's got more bristles. This, I didn't clean it because there's no dirt really in it. There's where the door used to be, but it's very stiff. I don't know why. I can hardly move it at all. Like, until it gets to there, it's really, really hard to move, which is very strange. And then everything's pretty much the same as that. And then the last piece, well, pieces I should say, is the thing that holds the wheels up when they when it's sitting on the ground. Some Matchbox cars have this, most of them don't. I think this is the first one that I've ever restored that's actually had this, but I know that some of the other ones do because I've seen it. Just the ones that I have taken apart don't have it, but it's broken in two pieces. This was the back, so the front is okay, but the back has broken off. So we'll have to either glue or we'll fix that somehow. And it is kind of in a banana shape a little bit, because probably pressure on the car for quite a long time, I would assume, and age just makes that happen. So we've got all the pieces, and we'll probably take the paint off. After the paint stripper is done, which it is, I will get the car out of my little jar there. That I just had some water in, but I'm going to wash the car in some soapy water, or coffee, I guess. So let that soak for just a second, and then we'll clean it off. Compared to the last few times, the paint came off really easy on this car. I also used a soft wire brush to kind of shine up the metal a little bit and get some of the remaining specks of paint off, but didn't really put up any resistance to the paint stripper. I pretty much got every single speck of paint off. And the body is in, it's okay. It's a little bit discolored, but the paint will cover that up. It's not really a big deal. All the panel lines are there. There's no really big gashes or anything that I can notice. There might be a couple little scratches in the metal, but nothing major or anything that'll be noticeable when we paint the car. You can see some of the details like there, and the doors, where the door used to be on the back, and then the front. Everything's in pretty good shape here. Because the axles were rusted to the wheels, and not really the base, but the wheels were just kind of rusted to the axles, I had to use some WD-40 to get them free, and then we could finally get them to spin freely on the axle, and also so we could get the axles off the base, because there is no way to get the axles off the base unless you use the method where I use is just use a pair of pliers and kind of crimp the ends a little bit, just a little bit, so the mushroom part is gone, and you can just slide the axle off. And that also makes it good because it leaves all the material there, it doesn't take away any, so if the axle is a little bit shorter, there will be still some material that you can tap or use the drill press, but I don't have a drill press. You could just use that to get the wheel to stay on. And we've got all 4 wheels here. Some of them have got some paint on them, but other than that, they're in pretty good shape. None of them are scratched up really at all. As you can see, none of them, well, they're scratched a little bit, but none of them are scratched badly. And then I could find the 4th here. So, good deal with that. Now we have to tackle the windshield. It's got a lot of paint on it, and as you can see, some scratches down some cracks actually down the front, and then just a lot of paint on it. So I'm going to try and clean this windshield up as best I can, and then if I can ever find another one in the future, I will probably get one. And you can see the indents of where the windows were on the on this windshield. The windshield's surprisingly cleaned up pretty good, as it's got a crack in the front. As you can still see, there's nothing I can do about that. But I got it shiny, and it'll be at least a temporary windshield. The sides are actually in very good shape. There aren't any major scratches or anything, and smooth to the touch. And same with the little plastic light on the top. The little blue on it used to be a dark blue that it had paint on it, and now it's just clear blue. Same color as the windshield. And other than the cracked windshield on the front, it looks pretty good. Maybe it hit a pedestrian or something. Maybe that's how the windshield got cracked, because it doesn't look like it's been stepped on at all. Because you can see the light there, and I have no idea what happened. The little plastic piece on the bottom that holds the wheels, the kind of suspension piece, it was broken right here, so I just glued it back, and that side ended up pretty straight, but the other one is kind of still bent up. I don't know, because I used the hot water technique. Well, I ran it under pretty hot water, enough to make it start steaming a little bit, but and holding it to about there, but it just will not stay. I don't know how the other guys that do it get it to stay straight, because I could not do it. It just would not stay straight at all. So I think that's good enough for now, and I'll try and work on it a little more, but other than that, I think we're done with that piece. The base was polished up using some of the not the electro polishing stuff like Bare Metal HW uses, but some of the Zep calcium cleaner that you would use in your bathroom, and then polished with some steel wool. And it turned out pretty good. It's shiny, and it's not really too discolored at all. The body was painted close to the original color, which is a really close to white, but it's not quite. It's almost an off-white kind of color, but this one turned out pretty nice. The paint didn't go on too badly, and you can still see all the details on the side. As you can see, the door handles. Kinda. It's got all the details on it, and it's turned out pretty good. We made a back door out of some screen, a paper clip, and some Bondo that you would like put on your car, and just sanded it till it was smooth, and also painted it white, or the same color as the car, and we'll have to put that on after it dries. So off camera I had made some decals for this ambulance, and they were just the 2 red crosses that go on each door. And I just used some of that special decal paper and used the printer. These are ones that I had lying around for a little while. I needed to use them, but I had other cars that I was working on before that one, so they weren't a main priority. But they turned out really nice, and they were actually a really nice size, and they fit the car really well. And it looks pretty good for some just ones that I just used a printer. And I think they turned out really nice. After we put the decals on, all we had to do was put the car back together, and I have to say it actually turned out pretty nice. And we got the details, or just the single decals on the sides, and you've got your door in the back, which turned out okay, but I could have done a better job on that. I'll have to revisit that and do another one probably. But it's just temporary, it's not really glued in or anything. I didn't attach it to the little post on the back that holds the window, and it also makes the door go up and down, so it can't go up and down, but everything else turned out nice. We still don't have a hood ornament, which would be the little round Mercedes badge, because it's broken off, and there's really no good way to replace that. But other than that, it turned out really nice. We've got the suspension back, and we've got the nice shiny paint, and the window, as far as being cracked, it actually turned out pretty nice. The only bad thing about it is the big crack down the middle. So we'll find another one. If I can find another car, or just maybe a windshield, I'll put a new one on there. And the base turned out really nice. It's nice and shiny, and you can read everything instead of it being covered with dirt like it was before when I got it, and it's a definite improvement from what it was. So I'm going to put it there, and so thanks guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you wanted to, and I'll see you in the next video.